Something gamers may have noticed whilst playing Red Dead Redemption 2 is just how unique each gang member's mount is, but did you realise that it goes deeper than simple cosmetics? In today's video, we'll be exploring each of the gang members' individual horse and how it relates to that particular person. Long-time viewers of my channel may notice that I have covered this topic previously a few years back, and since its release, many of you guys have flooded the comment section with a whole bunch of details I missed first time round, so today I guess we can call this a re-exploration of the topic, if you will. Welcome to the video. You're listening to Phil of Filbee Gaming. If you enjoy the following, you all know what to do, and if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed already, after watching, please consider doing so. With that being said, and please be aware that there will be major spoilers ahead for the narrative, let's begin. The meaning of the mounts revisited, Red Dead Redemption 2. Let's begin with the co-founding member and current faction leader of the Van der Linde gang, Dutch Van der Linde himself. Dutch rides an albino Arabian, which he has named the Count. A Count is normally referred to a title of nobility, a symbol of prestige if you will. This is very much how Dutch views himself and wishes for others to also view him in this manner. The Count is the only horse of its type in the game, and although there are others similar to it, it could represent the individuality of Dutch's character and persona. The Arabian horse is considered to be elegant, reliable and trustworthy, a nod to Dutch's character early in the title before his decline. It is known to be calm and composed, just as a leader like Dutch needs to be, and is often not easily startled by loud noises, making it fearless in dire situations. The Count will only take Dutch, as others such as Arthur Morgan have attempted to ride the mount previously, only to be thrown from the stead. Many compared the Count, due to its coat and Dutch's character, to a quote from a passage of the Bible, Revelation 6:8, which reads, "And I looked, and behold a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him," symbolising one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. This is received as the downfall of Dutch Van der Linde, causing the many deaths that surround him due to both his actions and decisions. Hosea Matthews, Dutch's right-hand man and co-founder of the Van der Linde gang, rides a Turkoman, which he has cleverly named Silver Dollar. Hosea is a con man, always chasing some form of heist for monetary gain. This would certainly explain the choice of title in which he named his mount. The Turkoman breed of horse is often noted due to its racing ability and fearlessness in battle, and would often be used as a preferred method of transportation during war times. The Turkoman is also known for its endurance and resistance to diseases, which is quite the jab at Hosea. The endurance could certainly represent Hosea's age, given that he survived many years of his adult life living as a criminal, no doubt escaping dire situations on many occasions, but as we know, the man is plagued with illness, often theorised as tuberculosis, making its connection to Silver Dollar somewhat ironic. A difficult mount to explain would be that of our protagonist, Arthur Morgan, simply because it's player specific. The mount is chosen by the handler themselves. But what we can look at is the previous horse of Arthur's, and although we don't accurately know the breed, we do know of the name, Boudeccea. Boudeccea, translated from Latin as Boudeccea, was a British queen and a warrior who led a revolt against the Roman Empire. The revolt was the largest ever conflict to occur on British soil. Her name comes from a Brythonic word, Boude meaning victory and Car meaning having. It's speculated that Arthur may have named this mount as a testament to a powerful figure from his native land of Britain, but unfortunately we have very little information on this, so we'll move on over. John Marston has two mounts during our time in Red Dead Redemption 2. Firstly, we have Old Boy, a Hungarian half-bred. The Hungarian half-bred is known for its bravery and fearlessness, much like John. This is presented to us immediately during our playthrough, as after receiving a bullet during the Blackwater massacre, John continued on to ensure the safety of the remainder of the gang on his lonesome. To add a quick nod to the original Red Dead Redemption, where John was the primary protagonist, Old Boy is very similar to the warhorse John rides. Secondly, during the epilogue, John now rides a thoroughbred named Rachel. The thoroughbred breed of horse is often affiliated with aspiring people to push themselves beyond their limits to reach new heights, all the while striving for excellence. This signifies John's progression from former gang associate to now a family man who's trying to provide a better life for his wife and child. Also, although unconfirmed, it's often scepticised that the title of Rachel was the name of John's daughter who sadly passed, although this particular narrative seems to have been discontinued without explanation. Next, we have Javier Escuela and his American paint horse, Boaz. According to etymology, the name Boaz comes from the root word Z, spelt as two Z's, and means to be strong, with some suggesting it also translates to mean in the strength of. The name is known to derive from the Bible, where Boaz was Ruth's second husband and was known to treat his wife with a great kindness. Boaz's actions demonstrated his adherence to the Mosaic law, which commanded landowners to leave gleanings for the poor and the foreigner. This can easily relate to the finding of Javier, a foreigner down on his luck who was aided by Dutch Vanderland. The American paint horse is also known to have a wild demeanour, much like Javier, and its fancy coat could be a representative of the man's choice of attire, flamboyant if you will. The breed is known for their headstrong attitudes, just like Javier too. Also, decadents of the American paint were originally brought to North America at some point in the 1500s from Spanish conquistadors, similar to how Javier traversed from foreign lands to the US. Bill Williamson's mount, an Ardennes breed named Brown Jack, is a war horse, simple as that. The Ardennes is known to be slower in movement but very strong, as well as its reputation for having high endurance and hardiness. This is a testament to the character of Bill, a former serving army veteran with a reputation for his abilities during conflict. Both Bill and his mount are fearless in battle, bearing resemblance to one another. The name Brown Jack could mean something as simple as Bill's lack of ability to conjure up a better title for his mount, but it could also have a secondary meaning, a nod to a famous musician of the Western genre, Johnny Cash. In a song titled Cocaine Blues, a reference is made to a character named Jack Brown. This song itself is about the artist's battle with addiction, much like Bill Williamson battled with his own addictions for many years, following his dishonourable discharge from service in the military. Micah Belle proudly rides out on a Missouri foxtrotter, who he's named Baylock. Baylock's appearance is pretty distinctive, with its largely black coat with white hooves and face. This is often perceived as Micah's two-faced nature. The black representing the evil side of Micah, with the white face in particular representing the traitor's apparent good side, the part he wants his fellow gang members to fixate on. The name Baylock means to go to great heights and equally great depths. This could represent Micah's willingness to ensure his own survival, in spite of those around him. The Baylock name also presents someone to be emotional, stubborn, often fixated with your own opinions, and the need to be appreciated. It also aligns with someone who's bold, independent, knows what they want in life, and headstrong, referring back to his stubbornness. This is all an accurate representation of Micah Belle, who's very much in this world for himself and his own needs. Similar to John Marston, the character of Uncle has two separate mounts, one in 1899 and the second in 1907. Both mounts are unkempt, scruffy in nature, much like the lumbago-ridden man himself. His first, named Nell II, is a Kentucky saddler. The Kentucky saddler is the oldest gaitered horse in North America. This may potentially be Rockstar Games poking fun at Uncle's age. The mount also has a reputation to be self-sufficient and easy keepers when comparing to other breeds of horse. This would suit Uncle down to a T, as he's known for his lazy ways. Traditionally, Kentucky saddlers were often used by travelling doctors, librarians and mail carriers, among other professions. This could represent Uncle's placement within the gang, where he has no real specific purpose. In the epilogue, Uncle now rides an Appaloosa horse, which he has continued the name tradition, calling this one Nell IV. This could also represent Uncle's lazy nature, but more than likely has a more symbolic meaning behind it, maybe a specific someone from Uncle's past, although this is never fully explored. The Appaloosa horse has a reputation of being a trustworthy mount. This coincides with Uncle helping John build his home of Peach's Hope, albeit in his own lazy way. This change of breed could represent Uncle's change of ways from a lazy and selfish character to someone who wishes to help out his friends. The Appaloosa is also known to have the ability to adapt to new situations and people, adopting change if needed. This could also relate to Uncle inviting himself into situations by his own accord, such as moving into John's home without prior consent. On a quick side note, Nell IV also has a moustache, adding to Uncle not tending to its care. Sadie Adler also has two separate mounts. Firstly, she rides a Turkoman simply named Bob. The Turkoman is often recognised for its endurance, often being used for either racing or during times of war. This could represent Sadie's endurance and ability to continue on after the fall of both her husband and home at the hands of the O'Driscolls. The simple name of Bob seems to be lacking any real thought into it. This may be due to Sadie's early depression following the aforementioned events. Sadie had little care for the world that surrounded her. In the epilogue, Sadie mounts a Mustang named Hera. Mustangs have a reputation for being difficult to tame, much like the character of Sadie herself. Sadie is focused on avenging the death of her husband, and this allows anything to prevent her from doing this. Mustangs are also impatient, hard-headed and hard-working, much like Mrs. Adler. The breed traditionally form in packs, which is ironic as by the time Sadie obtains the mount, she is very much a loner. This could be perceived as a reminder to Sadie of her time with the gang. The name Hera derives from the Greek goddess of marriage, women and family. This ties in with Sadie continuing to grieve the loss of her husband and home. The term Mustang also derives from the Spanish word mestungo, meaning stray. This is accurate to Sadie finding her own way following the fall of the Van der Linde gang. Just like John, Sadie and Uncle, Charles Smith also has two separate mounts, one for each timeline. Firstly, during 1899, similar to Uncle in the epilogue, Charles mounts an Appaloosa named Taima. The Appaloosa has a reputation for being both trustworthy and loyal, very similar to the character of the man. As mentioned with Uncle's Nell IV, the Appaloosa can adapt to new people as well as new situations. This represents Charles transitioning from lone wolf to falling in with the Van der Linde gang, stating himself that he's done with travelling alone. The Appaloosa also have a rich history of being rode by indigenous people, tribes, very similar to the Nez Perce tribe. This pays homage to the upbringing of Charles Smith. The title of Taima is a Native American name meaning peal of thunder, a long loud series of thunderclaps, owing testament to the history of Charles. The Appaloosa horse also has a reputation for being level-headed and calm, much like the man. In 1907, Charles rides a Nakota breed which is named Falmouth. The Nakota symbolises both courage and an indomitable spirit with the ability to quickly adapt to dire situations, keeping a cool head under pressure. This represents the character of Charles almost down to a T. The Nakota is a descendant of the last wild horses of North Dakota, representing a freedom of life that Charles holds dearly. Sean Maguire rides out on an American standardbred named Ennis. The standardbred breed are known for their loyal and friendly temperament, as well as being very people-oriented, all similar to the young Irishman himself. They are often used as racehorses, representing Sean's competitive nature and willingness to be the best. We see this often as Sean intertwines himself in affairs that originally he wasn't part of, such as the train heist with John, Charles and Arthur. This can also tie in with Sean's willingness to take on any challenge, as he's not afraid to put himself forward. The American Standardbred always has a reputation for its speed and is considered to be one of the fastest trotting horses in the world. This ties in with Sean's quick thinking and youthfulness. The name Ennis is an Irish term for the word island, or one choice, representing Sean's native home of Ireland. There's also a town of the same name in the country in County Clare. The youngest member of the Van der Linde gang, Lenny Summers, similar to Sadie in the epilogue, rides a Mustang horse named Maggie. The Mustang is small, swift and tough, with a good work ethic, not too dissimilar to the character of Lenny, who's always trying to prove himself to the older and more experienced members of the faction. Mustangs often form in packs, which relates to Lenny transforming from a lone survivor and falling in with the gang for safety. Although travelling in packs, the Mustang breed of horse often represent freedom and independence. This pays homage to the history of Lenny's family, as both his parents were former slaves. Similar to how we mentioned with Sadie, the term mestungo, translating from Spanish to Mustang, means stray. This could represent Lenny surviving on his own before falling in with the gang. Karen Jones travels on a Nakota steed similar to Charles, named Old Belle. The Nakota can adapt to dire situations, which can be perceived as a testament to the persona of Karen, such as her actions during the Valentine bank heist, in which she thinks on her feet and helps the small group escape the law. Symbolising courage and spirit, this reflects Karen's willingness to fall in with the male members of the group, often partaking in robberies with little regard for their safety. The Nakota horse is often used as a show horse. This can relate to Karen's appearance, often ensuring she's dressed appealingly to attract attention, normally as a distraction for set heists. The name Old Belle is a term of endearment and is used to describe an attractive and popular female, reflecting the character of Karen Jones. The newest addition to the Vanderlyn's gang, Kieran Duffy, travels on a Tennessee Walker which is named Branwen. The breed of Tennessee Walker has a reputation for its high stamina and durability. Kieran is very much the same, as he endures weeks of captivity whilst tied to a tree, continuing on seemingly unscathed following this. The horse is also known to be sometimes skittish and weak, showcasing Kieran's nervous manner. The name Branwen, of Welsh origin, meaning beautiful and blessed raven, is often associated with ensuring the baby bird has help whenever it's ready to leave the safety of the nest. This can relate to Kieran, as at one point he reveals that he refers to his parents as Mammy and Pappy, explaining that he lost them both at a young age. This may be Kieran referring to his upbringing where he was left alone and would need to find his own way. Lastly today, we have the associate of the gang, less than a full-fledged member, Josiah Trelawney. Josiah rides out on an Appaloosa named Gwydion. Depictions of the Appaloosa are believed to have been found in cave paintings in Britain, the homeland of Josiah, possibly the reason for his choice of mount. Very similar to the con artist, the appearance of the Appaloosa is flamboyant and flashy, almost as if it's wishing to draw attention to itself. It's individual, versatile, and has a good sense of adaptability. This represents Josiah very well, as he's often inserting himself into situations, often under false pretenses, using different aliases. Gwydion in Welsh mythology is a powerful magician and shapeshifter. This clearly relates to Trelawney's personality, as he shifts his character to suit the current situation, usually to his advantage, aided by his love for magic tricks and deception. If you enjoyed what you saw today, you all know what to do, and if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. Thank you all for watching. You've been listening to Phil of Filbee Gaming, and I'll see you in the next video.